So for step 15, the front lower arms, well, we've got to grab this part, D3, and then we've got our screws that are going to go into there, and we have these ball suspension pieces that have to go in there as well. So there's the hardware, and what's nice is these are metal. That's awesome. And then, of course, we've got our arms, and you can see here there's some plastic on it. You got to cut those off, which I've already done. So I'll set this up, and let's put these together. So these pieces are identical. So you can see that in terms of the way this needs to go, you can see that there's a bit of a dip going down. You don't want it this way. They need to be this way so that both are basically like that. So right off the bat, you can see that there on this side, there's an inner hole, and they want you to use a screw to screw in inside that hole. Now it's interesting because I don't see the reasoning for the screw as of yet, but if we make sure that's going in level, yes, we'll screw this in. Now I think it might have something to do with whatever goes in there at some point, so I'm not going to screw this in all the way. It's not mentioning that, but I don't see why you would screw that in. I think you're going to wait for maybe something else that's got to fit into there. But I'll screw it in just a little bit more. That's fine. And then we'll take the other one, and we're going to do the very same thing. I'm just turning this upside down. Make this work. There we go. It's going in fairly level. I'll just release it just a bit. There we go. And we'll screw that in. Yes. Okay. I will screw this in a little further, but again, I'm not going to go all the way because I think there's got to be something else about it at a later stage. So those two screws are in. The only thing left is you've got to get these balls into here. Now they're showing you it's going in from the bottom at basically just like that, at that angle. Now it's saying use the pliers, but I'm wondering if these ones you can actually push in with your fingers. Now some do, some don't. No, it's looking like it's not. So I am going to grab the pliers and pop that in. These are the needle nose pliers. Let's go this way. It looks like, there we go. There it is. It's in and moves around freely. It says make sure you're not doing anything to damage them, and I think that's fairly easy to do. And I'm on the needle nose, I'm actually using the flat spot in here. It takes a little longer so that you're not scraping anything up, but that would be the way that I would do it with the pliers that I've got. So again, that's got to come up from the bottom, and I'll put that in there. Push. I'm going to turn it around. Push. And I may have to do it one more time from the other side. And it's not quite right. So let's try this again. Funny how one side worked, one didn't, but that's okay. I'm going to see if I can push it in with the table. Ah, there we go. Well, last minute, you can actually just do it that way and it'll turn around. So there we go. So there are the two front lower arms complete. So step 15 is done. So now we're going to move on to step 16 and attach the front lower arms. So for step 16, attaching the front lower arms. Well, we're going to grab the arms that we put together in step 15, and they're going to attach to the C4 piece, and then there's the T5 and T6 piece that will go together with this one MA2 screw, and then these two bars are going to slide in. Now, that makes sense because I think that was the whole point of these screws on this side, is that they're going to stop these from going all the way through. So there's the hardware that we need, and there are the pieces that we need for this step. So I'll set it up and we'll put it together. So right off the bat, let's put together this front bulkhead, because we're actually not going to be using this in this step other than putting it together. And you can see that the way this is shaped, you've got the third, basically you can see the three holes. It's going to go together like that. And there's only the one screw, this MA2, which is going in at the top and through, which is holding this together. So I will grab the two pieces. Let's put that together as we can. And try and hold this together. And we'll screw this in. Make sure that's going in correctly. Yes. It's an interesting design. I'm going to have to use the other screwdriver handle so I've got a bit more grip. There we go. Now at the moment I'm not going to over tighten this either, but I will get it in there. So ultimately that's what it should look like. So that we'll just put aside because we're not going to use it until the next step. So if we look at this piece, this is the C4 piece, and you can see that in terms of its shape, we want it that way, not that way. You can see that this is going to fit there, and we're going to slide one of these pins through. And notice that that screw at the other end is actually stopping it from sliding all the way through. Now it'll be interesting, maybe we screw this all the way down. I'm not sure yet, but that's why I left it kind of open in a sense. So we're going to slide this one through. And again, it's going to go through and hit the screw at the end. Interesting. So ultimately, that is step 16. It's fairly simple. We've got our bulkhead and we've got our front lower arms. So 16 is done. So now we're going to move on to step 17 and attach the front bulkhead.